Welcome everyone, Christine here with a discussion about God of War Ragnarok on PC with mouse and keyboard. Now, I've pretty much beaten the game. I've spent about 100 hours, yes, I'm crazy, playing this game on the highest difficulty. I'm not particularly great as a player, I gotta say, with this stuff. I've died a lot. I've had like 200 attempts on King Hrolf, 200 so far on Gna. Hopefully I am going to be able to defeat her. I'm seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. I've whittled her down to 1 HP bar. The problem is the last 2 HP bars of this fight are as difficult as the rest of the fight combined. That's how crazy, because she gets a lot more aggressive. It's like kind of minor enrage. Anyway, let's talk about mouse and keyboard. How do I feel about it? What are the pros? What are the cons from my perspective? Well, from a controller, from a keybind standpoint, most of the stuff that you want, though not crucially not all of the stuff that you want, is available over here. And many of the default binds are pretty fine. There are a couple of things that I have certainly changed. One of the things is that I've changed my block and parry key to caps, because I do find it comfortable. This is a problem, by the way, with a lot of Souls, like from a control standpoint, not talking about anything else gameplay-wise. But the problem is, like, blocking is awkward. Like, which key do you use for blocking? I mean, you could use E. I think some games try that. Doesn't work very well. I personally prefer to use caps lock, because I'm only using my pinky for that. Problem is, I'm using my pinky, and if I'm blocking a lot in fight, that's gonna stress me the hell out. Beyond that, you have the evade, which I've set to space. Crucially, when it comes to evading, if I can find it over here, so you may have the ability, I'm not sure where it is, you have the ability of, actually it might be gameplay, you have the ability of changing how you're going to evade. And that is actually quite an important factor. Where the heck is this thing? I'm just not paying attention while I'm talking. So playstyle, traversal, assist, menu hold, allow data collection. No, it's probably an accessibility. Let's see over here. So yeah. So you have default, or you can use tapping, those kind of things, right? So you do have, you either strafe or you're rolling. I personally prefer like just the default one, like double tap or hold to follow up a sidestep with a single roll. That is my perspective on that. I recommend turning off aim assist. I had performance issues with this, actually. Like, I was seeing performance dips when I was playing with aim assist on. And in a boss fight, when you have to target, like, oh, the boss is summoning a floating orb that's gonna kill you if you don't kill it. Yeah, aim assist is not fucking great in that respect. There are a couple of other things you can change, but I find most of the stuff to be perfectly fine in terms of the default controls of what we do have. The only thing, like block and parry, and you might want to switch aim. I added the secondary mouse button to this, though mostly I'm using Q these days in order to aim. It works mostly fine. Lock on camera was pretty buggy at launch. I think they fixed it, though. When I'm dealing with groups and enemies, I really don't want to use the lock-on camera. If I'm using the lock-on camera, I'm using it in a fight like this where I want to pay attention to what the boss is doing. I'm not using it in groups of enemies because I want one of the significant advantages of mouse and keyboard, which is the much better camera control with the freaking mouse. That is one of the significant advantages to talk about over there. Spartan Rage, you do have 2 options of either shift middle mouse button or space and E, or rather your evade button and your E button. I use space and E. So for the most part, this handles fine, or what's in the options menu seems fine. But here's the problem. What's not in the options menu is freaking annoying. So if you want to use your runic attacks, you have to hold down your block key in order to bring up the shield, and then use the attack over here. That is freaking frustrating as hell. Like, undeniably so. And you actually end up wasting so much time. Also, it's annoying having to press a combination of keys to get an action. Like, it's one thing, you know, if I'm playing an MMO and I'm using like Alt-1, Alt-2, Shift-1, all that. Caps left mouse button is just always awkward. And this is not the only game that does it. Like Souls-like do it. It's just like control scheme. It's like, why can't I just press a button to do an attack? Like, I understand I might have to bring up my shield, but it's just like awkward as hell to do so. And I actually do end up dying because of this. So that is a problem. Another problem, and a more substantial one from my perspective, is regarding this. Flame Whiplash 2. Flame Whiplash can be instantly charged when R is pressed momentarily. Well, here's the problem. On a controller, this vibrates. So, you do an attack, controller vibrates, and when the vibration is finished, I think, you know you can press R. Because otherwise, you're just doing this, as opposed to this. A lot more damage, lots more benefits, and the build I'm using right here is built around that. So those are some of the problems. Using your runic attacks, using things like Flame Whiplash, and it's not just Flame Whiplash, it's other things as well. So yeah, that can be pretty awkward at times. For the most part, I don't have a problem with the controls, I don't have a problem with the camera control, the sensitivity of mouse. I think they fixed the lock-in issue, but yeah. Just the control scheme. Like, I will say this much though about the game. It feels so freaking smooth to play. Like, this is smooth. Like, FPS-wise, how much am I getting right now? Bit of a frame rate dip because I brought the FPS counter. So I'm getting 84. And this is without DLSS or something like that. I'm playing native 1440p. I am using reflex on and boost. I am using DLAA. I wish more games had DLAA as an option as opposed to using DLSS quality for anti-aliasing. The only thing that's really missing from a PC port standpoint is freaking ray tracing. That's what I would have liked to see. But outside that, yeah, the game looks great. Maybe better picture quality. I don't know, like, you know, the environments. That's something modders can fix, but yeah, some of the picture quality could be improved. But overall, pretty solid. So the advantage of mouse and keyboard, what is the advantage? The camera control, like just being able to move, to see around you. Now, some people will say, well, you get much better movement control with the controller versus the keyboard. You don't use the keyboard to control your movement on its own. Like, for instance, generally speaking, what you're going to do with mouse and keyboard, you're going to press down W when you're moving, and then you're going to move your camera wherever you want to move. And you're using A, D, and S for, like, you know, corrections. There's, by the way, keyboards out there that have a similar thing to controllers where instead of like holding down a button and moving the fastest speed in terms of running, you know, the amount that you're pressing on the keyboard determines how much movement you're actually doing. That can be a fairly substantial benefit. But yeah, the downside is with regards to things like Flame Whiplash. I'd say 60% of the Flame Whiplashes that I do in a boss fight like this, and I'll just showcase an attempt here, maybe a kill. But I think after 200 attempts, I'm like, yeah, maybe I just want to take a break. Spent 200 hours ever since this game came out. I am exhausted. Besides, I kind of feel it's pointless because Valhalla just resets everything, so it's like, okay, that really takes the joy out of doing this. Like, you could talk about No Game Plus, but she's not really going to give you anything. Like, Ziggurin gave you a lot. But so, let me showcase this one. Now, with Konda, you'll probably want to lock on to her, because if you don't, well, let's just say that there's enough stuff in this fight to worry about without worrying.
You abandoned us!
Nasty hit! You alright, brother?
For Asgard! For Asgard!
Careful, brother. You're covered in Bifrost.
Asgard blood! Rise! Rise!
Switching arrows!
Kneel!
Okay.
Switching arrows!
Asgard's blood is on you! Bathe in fire!
Sigil magic!
Submit for Asgard! For Asgard! Asgard blood! Rise! Rise!
Switching!
Okay.
For Asgard! Asgard's blood! Submit!
Okay.
Asgard! Bathe in fire!
Changing arrows!
I don't know why the Bifrost didn't trigger. Now I know why. This one won't trigger because I nor this one.
Asgard's blood is on you! Submit! Asgard's blood is
Freya almost got me killed over there.
Rise! Rise!
Switching!
For Asgard! For Asgard! For Asgard!
Yelpa!
Kneel! Submit! Submit! Asgard Asgard's blood is on you! You deserve to suffer!
I dodged the wrong way. Damn it! So close, so close. I know I have another life, but chances of recovering from this, I gotta be lucky.
Asgard's blood is on us! For Asgard! For Asgard! For Asgard! Submit! Submit! This is far from over! Asgard's blood is on us! Pathetic.
Oh my god!
Failed.
Oh man, I hate my life. That hurt. That genuinely hurts. But I did.
No matter.
Well, that was pretty damn rough. I ain't doing that again for a while. It feels horrible to lose a fight so close to the end. But just to give you an idea of what actually really matters in this boss fight gear-wise, and I'll do a video when I do kill her. But here are some of the things that do matter. Emblem of Illusion, it's pretty important for the slam attacks. I also have Seal of Runic Storm because I'm using all the kinds of attacks and all that. But that's, you know, Emblem of Illusion, pretty important. Relic-wise, I am going with the Hilt of Hrati to reduce runic cooldowns. That's the reason I'm capable of using a lot of attacks, because I have the Blades of Chaos with Luminous Recovery handles. I have that hilt. That's the reason why I'm able to do a lot of these attacks. And Flame Whiplash with Luminous Recovery handles. Those are the things that actually really matter. And just the movement range. Otherwise, like, yeah, gear-wise, ignore how the armor looks. I have 2 mothers, breastplate fully upgraded, all that kind of stuff. Maybe I would want to change a couple of things. You do need a certain level of cooldown. Maybe I would... It could help vitality, but I would lose damage, so not really willing for that. But yeah, that was a bit of a demonstration. Holy shit. That felt awful. I'm not gonna joke. Like, I think I need to spend a couple of days recovering from that. It's like, you know how that felt? I'm gonna tell you. It feels like when you're going up against a boss in World of Warcraft, it's the last fucking attempt of the night. You got him to 1% HP. You know you can kill him, then someone blows up the raid. That has happened to me. That genuinely has happened. It's the most awful fucking feeling. Maybe someone angst and kills a boss. That's also happened to me, but still. Yeah, let's just say. And then you extend the raid for 2 hours long and fail to kill the boss, or you kill it at 2 AM. Also happened. Back in the day. That's how I got to Illidan. Kostin Sanya.